Hi, YouTube. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. I've just really had a fever ever since I got burnt in the shower. And then I got sick. Anyway, but I've been struggling every day. Like, I've been waking up with what I call hot headaches. Excuse me. Oops, sorry. Don't mean to keep bumping you, just trying to get comfortable. I was wondering, what's the difference between a person of faith and a person that doesn't have any faith? What determines that within another person, within another human being? Is it something that we acquire? Is it a supposed weakness by one party or the next, whether you're the one with faith and I would view you as weak, or you are the one that is faithless and the one with faith would view you as weak? Or lacking thereof is the person that is faithless looking at the person of God like they're inept in some manner of speaking. Because, I don't feel that anybody that doesn't have faith in God is inept. Lacking would be the word I would use, but inept, no, because they can focus their intelligence and their abilities on whatever they choose to focus on, So, I don't know, just something I was thinking, what makes one person have faith and another one not? Of course, we all fall short in that faith thing sometimes when that's what I was thinking. That was the point I was thinking is our, do we gauge our faith in God by the bad things that have happened to us? Like, if a whole bunch of bad things happen to me, God doesn't love me, so my faith in Him would fall short in that respect. Or, if one person goes through something that I've said it before, but there's a meme out there that there were two brothers and they were both raised by a drunken father, and they asked the one son, "What made you become an alcoholic like your dad?" And he said, "From watching my dad." They asked the other son the same question. He was the sober one. And he said, "From watching my dad." So what makes two kids, two boys in the same family, one takes the road of struggling with a substance and the other one doesn't? What gives one person a faith in their creator, knowing we didn't make ourselves? I'm humble. Everybody, I think, should be humble enough to realize we all have a creator. First off, we all have a mother. Whether we like them or not, that doesn't hold any bearing on that. This is who God chose to put your seed into to bring you forth on this planet, I don't like my mother. I do not like my birth mother. I do not like my adoptive mother, but that still holds no bearing on the fact that these women, well, One gave birth to me and the other, quite frankly, put on a great facade. But regardless of that, that can happen, blood or no blood. But I still wouldn't have, like, the color of my eyes came from a great-great-grandmother or grandfather, too, had on the one side of my family had brown eyes. So I'm just saying, you know, I don't know. What makes one person walk with the Spirit of God and another person doesn't? Because whether or not they say they're an atheist, well, what is it you don't believe in? You know? I mean, what if you're going to go in the religious conforms, like, say a Protestant or Methodist is going to view Scripture in a certain way, Judaism will, the Catholics will, they each have their own viewpoint on the same Scripture. What makes even them within religious beliefs believe one thing about something where another person won't, you know? So, I don't know. I think you get my point. What I was thinking anyway today is just really, first off, I have no clue how a person wouldn't believe, whether you call our Creator God or Father or whoever, the great architect, not the architect of this world. I'm not talking the world as a planet. I'm talking what's on the surface. The forming of the material things, like designing the architecture of a building or something, not the actual flesh and the actual land. That is the Creator that made me. That's the Creator I believe in. The one that has the ability to put me in my temple and the one that has the ability to take me out. That's all I have to worry about. I don't have to worry about what Tom, Dick, or Harry has to say about me, or thinks about my thought process. I have to worry about myself and holding the ability to have that self-confidence in all that I have been taught and all I've lived through. There's no way with all I've been through that I don't know that somebody's guiding my life, you know? So, I try not to gulp so loud. I do have 2 pieces of plastic in my throat right here, one there and one there. I was the first plastic surgery in my state, as far as I know, when I was a little kid, and they took my tonsils out. They cut them, they burned them, and then they put plastic over it. I'm allergic to plastic. Most people would be if it's in your body, you know. So anyway, if you hear me gulping, and yeah, I choke a lot too, and I have been choked, so, and I actually was one time, man, this almost took me out. I was on a 440 Polaris water-cooled engine snowmobile. Very, very fast sled. I used to race. But like a dummy, well, 15-year-olds can be pretty much dummies quite often. But I was on my knees on the sled and I was going through my yard and I was aiming for, there was a row of lilac bushes and there was an opening right after that. So I was just starting to put on the gas and I forgot about my mom's clothesline. talk about getting clotheslined. I actually fell off the sled. It kept going. I mean, I got up. I didn't break my neck that time, but I was able to get the sled. And I mean, I've done some pretty wild things. Even like that's not even wild compared to a lot of things I've done. Wow. But yeah, there's a God. I can tell you most certainly. There's a God. Oh. And I'm glad there is. If there wasn't, there's so many times like when I had my vein right here cut. I got a scar right there. You might be able to see it. I think you do right there. It's about as wide as my finger right there. Cut that vein open, and I was a kid. I mean, I always, when I was little, had pretended about being a doctor, and I'd like tape up everybody's boo-boos and everything, and fix them. But to be able to be having your blood shooting out in an arch, like about 12-foot arch, and at first I was just watching it. And then I'm like, whoa, had to plug myself up. So I ran in the bathroom and got tape out all the time. I tried to let go one time and put some toilet paper on there, which, you probably shouldn't do, but I was a kid and I did not know. But I had started studying for my Red Cross courses and knew enough about making butterfly stitches out of tape with the same principle. I put one on me and it was so wet, and then I had to try again. I finally got it on there, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't really holding it together. I had to keep pressure on it all night, basically. The next day I got one on there, but when I took it off, it was starting to scab over, so it was shooting that blood again. But I had to actually put my arm down on the side of my leg on my pants while I was getting my tape ready and put that on the counter. I dropped it. I mean, it was a nightmare. I'm begging God all the time for the foreseeing and the strength to be able to function under duress in times like that. And the Spirit of God within me is what really saved my life many times, so many times. Like I said, to not believe in a creator to me is a selfish, infantile, and ungrateful aspect of being a human being. That's my opinion on that. And I could give you multitudes of reasons why, like in that moment as a child, I was feeling weak and did not know what to do. And it was not my thoughts. And I don't accept that it was like an outside thoughts. It's something the Spirit, the Holy Spirit within us that guides us. This is not you. It is not I. It's something, it's a spark of life. When that is born within us, it's a part of our souls. Whether you deny it or not, that's there, and it's not you. It's the inner voice of God. And you can deny it all. You drink it away. Do whatever you got to do to try and get rid of it, right? I'm just telling like it is. Or smoke it away or whatever. I think you get my idea. I was just thinking the difference between nothing. I used to drink. I still want a pina colada really bad, but I'm not going to do it till I'm ready to be sick because, or I might have what they call a virgin one with no rum in it. But I usually would put Bacardi 151 in my pina coladas, so it's really good stuff. And I do have some brandy, Christian Brother brandy, which isn't just because of the name, it's actually a good brand. and I like to put it in eggnog. But I had eggnog this year, but I didn't put any in there. It's been sitting out there for years, and I have bottles of wine that I'm keeping, and I don't know for what. But so yeah, no, I'm not getting down on nobody. If you're a drinker, you drink, fine, whatever. I don't care. I'm using it as an example. But anyway, somebody I used to listen to was always nagging and rag-bagging about the smell of marijuana in their city, and I'm thinking like, well, if you don't like the air you live around, which it would suck, then you should move. Because when you live in a city with millions of other people, you're going to have to tolerate whatever they put into your air. Isn't that correct? So move if you don't like it, right? Because every time I would walk out or have to be forced to be around somebody that had alcoholic halitosis, they'd breathe on you like a dragon, you know, and you just about fall over. So, I mean, I was just thinking the difference between the smell of marijuana and alcohol, and I don't know, I'd rather smell herb in the air than the toxins coming out of somebody's whole being. It just doesn't stay in their lungs. It's like, whatever. You can see it. You can see it on them. It's like the old winos, and their noses would just get bulbous and red, and um, because your body can't keep up with the toxins. You need to detox if you're a drinker, especially. Find something that's even like I say, bicarbonate soda, soda, baking soda, bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate. It's right next to the flour and the salt. Arm & Hammer makes some. There'll be a generic brand, whatever. Detox is the first step in health, I think. Fasting is a good detox, you know. A lot of people can't do it, but it is beneficial, and I do it every day. So if I do eat a breakfast or another meal, I'll probably tell you just so you can see how my body operates more. I think like it's not natural to have this meal, that snack, that snack. People didn't eat like that. You got something to eat, you ate it, and then you'd have fuel for your body. It wasn't like, oh, I have to have this right now, and 10 minutes later this or that. That's kind of ridiculous. Eat something, go wash your hands, and be done with it. It's fuel. It's not a game. It's not like your substance is a party favor every time you eat, and you have to eat 3 times a day to pay homage to yourself, you know? It's like, whatever. Well, I was just thinking because later I am going to have some, but I made some cinnamon rolls with cream cheese icing. So Doug said they were great. But a lot of people can't bake and not eat stuff like that. So I get a pretty big kick out of people eating what I bake. Not as much as I used to. I used to just love it. I just bake stuff and go, there you go, just say me like a couple things or whatever. But I don't do it like I almost used to do well, I would cook something special every day. There's times we had struggled financially, but we always had something pretty decent. Not that I always ate it, but I would surely cook it for other people, so yeah. So if you don't believe in God, when did you make that decision? Just out of curiosity. Had you always contemplated that? And how did you come to your conclusion? Or is that not a final thing until you're about ready to kick the bucket on your deathbed that day? Is that when you personally, if you're not a faithful person, is it the day you die that you'll know for sure because you just don't know it within yourself somehow? And what makes a person like me know that the entity that made me and guides my life and has saved my life and guided me in that respect, what makes me know it and another person not know it? Although it's written in the scriptures, that doesn't really soothe the hearts of the ones that and even for the people that say they are of God but do lie. Those ones. So, that's truly the synagogue of Satan. That doesn't just have any kind of religious connotations. They're Satanists that don't believe that they're part of a religion. Well, we could call Christianity a cult if we wanted to go there too. It's just no matter what the gnosis is, the Gnostic of the whole thing, no matter what the religion, even not having a religion is what I'm saying. So when did you make your decision? That's my wonderment. I'm going to tell you my opinion. When you were little, you said this is just cruel and there is no God, and you stuck to it. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, because you're going to find, even if it's pseudoscience, to justify your belief. That's my thoughts. Because I've done the same thing, examining everything, with an open mind and an open heart. But I came to a different conclusion. How did I do that? And I must be totally mentally insane in your viewpoint of not having that faith. Whereas you are totally mentally insane in my eyes for not knowing you have a creator, whether you call him God or not. So there just isn't. I mean, you're in a vessel, you're a body, you are a being. There's something weird about you being in this human vessel. There's something more. I know you just have to feel it. I know you must. Every baby, every child has a glimmer of, unless you really are physically handicapped, you have a brief moment of innocence, that you might have pushed so far away. It's so far away, but it's still your beginning of who you were meant to be, It's like my kids, they may not remember their innocent smiles, but I do, you see. So I know who God made them to be because I was there at the beginning. So, assuming both parents are healthy and they nurture their children the way they are supposed to be nurtured, and there isn't groups of people coming against the strength within your bloodline, perhaps, because I do believe I'm talking to some people that have had like gang stalking tactics done upon you to keep you from the grace of God within your heart. That's what I believe for a lot of people. You're the ones I'm talking to. And it is out of love. It's the love of God in my heart He put there. The decision I make every day on a secondly basis, whether to be kind or not, Every second, that's a decision for everybody. It doesn't take any kind of illness to go off track with that. Now, you could really need to detox, and that could clear things up. I do believe. I don't know how long Queen Esther fasted, but just like it doesn't take a religion to fast to clear the toxins out of you before you're putting more in you, or at the same time, I don't know, maybe you want to put bicarbonate soda in some wine. That's a joke. It would bubble over, you'd wreck your mind. I was thinking of a detox red wine and bicarbonate soda. Volcano. Just like vinegar and soda, it would work like that because of the acid in the wine. So, well, I don't know. We got more snow coming in. I just saw a note on my computer. It said more snow in 15 hours. It didn't stop the last 2 days. Compact, I know there's over 2 feet. Yesterday there was a foot of snow. Then it's sort of what they call rain snow. We used to call sleet, but now they call it rain snow for a while. So it rain snowed for a while, and now we got more snow coming in, which is, to me, in a way, pretty cool because it's going to fill up the creek. And last year, we live in a valley, and there's a hill right across, and I could see through the trees there was water coming down the hill in like layers. It was like a waterfall, the whole side of the hill. It was so beautiful. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. In fact, it could do that for a long time, and I'd be really happy. If that happens, I have plans, but I would call it landscaping plans. I've been waiting for the right moment, or backhoe, one of the two. Digger Dan. I could, like Doug would say, I can do a lot of damage with one of those. I would too. We've talked of renting one. We have a couple friends that have one, but it just depends what they want done in return, And the fuel. Like we're building a road across the creek. We're getting close. We're going the long way though because there's a sandy beach down over that way under a willow tree. So anyway, we're heading that way with it, and it takes a lot of fuel and a lot of clean fill. So the price of both stuff, but we're getting there, So we've used a lot of sawdust from the Amish, which is cool, building that road. Doug's tractor tire is needing help. He can fix it, I think. Pretty sure he can, but it's not going to be till the snow melts, that's for sure. It's like Doug had sold my horses because she died. Her bale ring for feeding her. She had a big bale ring for the big round bales, and so we're going to sell it a guy wanted to come out. He called at 7:30 this morning, and it's like, first off, he asked Doug if he could help him load it with the tractor. And Doug says, I'm old, I'm not going out, and he has COPD, breathing problems. He doesn't need to be out there, in the cold. And he just said, there's no way, you can't even walk in this stuff. When Doug and I went to get it, maybe 20-some years ago, we loaded it up, just the two of us, on the back of a short bed pickup, So, if a man and a woman can do that, this joker and his wife can too, or whoever and whatever. And normally Doug would help, but this guy was stupid a couple times, and then calling really early this morning wasn't a good thing. And he's named the same as his dad and his brother, which is Junior, and they called Sonny, and he's got problems with that. Dwayne. His middle name is Wayne, Douglas Wayne. I guess he's just waning, like ebbing and flowing. He's waning, yeah. Waxing and waning, that's what it is. Wax on, wax off. Anyway. Both their middle name was the same as I had a Junior. My dad was Wallace William Killeen Sr., and my brother is Wallace William Killeen Jr., so we had a Junior in my household too, both named William, like Doug's dad and brother too, which is kind of ironic. My dad was going to name me Wilma or Bonnie, but my mom got her way, so whatever. And my name means like stranger or alien or, whatever, yeah. And my middle name is Susan. That means Lily. That's pretty simple, So I'm a strange Lily, Or from a strange land. I feel like a stranger. So they name me appropriately, Anyway. Cheers, everybody. I hope your week is going well for you. I'm going to get this uploaded. Seems to be running pretty smooth today. I did have to sweep the snow off the satellite dish again, but and by the way, my salsa turned out pretty darn good, and so my taco salad was really good. I'm gonna make some refried beans to go along with what I have left of what I made last night. So yeah, that'll be easy. So all right, everybody, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you are at. And if you don't believe in God, would you tell me why you don't? I'm not going to chastise you, not any more than what I do with people anyway, because of the lack of appreciation of just being put with the opportunity to no more than a dog or a cat, or, that's pretty cool, isn't it? You can type. Isn't that neat? So, okay, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow, I think.